I was fired on a Monday. It was not a dramatic Monday where something feels wrong when you wake up. It was just the regular Monday we mostly experience. I woke up that morning and ironed my shirt, drank my coffee, and even left home 5 minutes early. By 11:40 a.m., I didn't have a job anymore. It wasn't a performance issue. No, we've noticed a decline. Just a calendar invite. Quick check-in, HR. You already know how those meetings go. The room was too quiet. The smile was too rehearsed. It's just business, she said. Just business, I asked. I had worked there for 6 years. 6 years of late nights. 6 years of fixing mistakes that weren't mine. 6 years of believing loyalty meant something. It's restructuring. Restructuring. That word sounds professional. Polished. Harmless. But it feels like eviction. I packed my desk into a brown box. And as I was doing that, no one made eye contact. Not even people I trained or people I covered for. Or people who used to say, "We're like family here." Family doesn't escort you out with security. I kept replaying it in my head. What did I miss? Did I upset someone? Did I overlook something? Was there a complaint? They gave me nothing. No explanation. Just silence and a final paycheck. The first week at home was the hardest. You wake up at 6:30 out of habit. You dress halfway before remembering. You check your email, and there's nothing. Silence is loud when you're not used to it. People say, you'll find something better. But better doesn't pay this month's rent. Better doesn't explain to your parents why you're suddenly unemployed. Better doesn't calm the panic at 2 a.m. And what hurt the most? It is not the job. It is the confusion. I didn't know what I did. And not knowing is worse than knowing. 3 months later, everything exploded. It started as a headline. Then another. Then another. Financial irregularities discovered. Internal audit reveals fraud. Executives under investigation. By the end of the week, the company I gave 6 years to collapsed. There were court cases, frozen accounts, news vans outside the building. People I once had lunch with were now on television, walking into courthouses. I watched from my living room. In silence. And for the first time, something felt off. Not vindication. Something else. You can call it relief. Just then I got a call from someone who still worked there. Her voice was shaking. Did they ever ask you about the compliance report? Compliance report? I had written dozens. She paused. Your name is on one. That didn't make sense. Which one? She sent me a photo. There it was. My signature. On a document approving a financial decision I had never seen. Never reviewed. Never signed. My signature was perfect. Too perfect. Someone had forged it. Suddenly, it made sense. The silence. The rushed meeting. The lack of explanation. They didn't fire me because of performance, they fired me to protect themselves. If the fraud surfaced, they needed distance. They needed someone whose name appeared, but who wasn't inside the building anymore. They thought I'd protest. They thought I'd scream. They thought I'd fight. But I didn't even know. Because they removed me before the explosion. Quietly and strategically. Do you understand what that means? If I had stayed 3 more months, I would have been part of the investigation. My name was already on paper. I would have been explaining something I didn't do. Defending something I didn't approve. Proving something I couldn't prove. Because how do you prove you didn't sign something that carries your signature? You don't. You survive it or you don't. I sat there staring at the image of that document. And for the first time since I lost my job, I was grateful. Grateful for a Monday I hated. Grateful for a meeting I didn't understand. Grateful for a door that slammed shut without explanation. Because that door wasn't rejection. It was extraction. Extraction from a collapse. Extraction from scandal. Extraction from public disgrace. They thought they were protecting themselves. But they were protecting me. Here's the part no one talks about. When something is suddenly taken from you, you assume it's punishment. You assume it's failure. You assume it's loss. But sometimes, it's insulation. Sometimes you're being moved before something breaks. Sometimes the opportunity you're crying over is connected to damage you cannot yet see. Sometimes silence is strategy. Not yours. Life's. The executives were eventually charged. Some employees were dragged into investigations for months. Careers ended. Reputations stained permanently. And me? I was already gone. No one called me to testify. No one questioned my name. Because officially, I wasn't there when it happened. The forged document. It disappeared during the internal investigation. Strange how that works. I never got an apology. Never got a call saying, we were wrong. Never got closure. But I got something better. Distance. Clean distance. And clarity. Now when something leaves my life suddenly, I don't chase it immediately. I pause. Because I've learned something most people learn too late. Not every closed door is rejection. Some are rescue. Not every removal is loss. Some are protection. Not every unanswered question needs an answer. Some answers arrive months later, in headlines. If you are in a season right now, where something was taken from you without explanation, sit with this. You might not have been rejected. You might have been removed from something that would have destroyed you. And one day, when the dust settles somewhere you used to stand, you will realize that you were never unlucky. You were spared. Lesson. When life removes you suddenly, it may not be removing opportunity. It may be removing danger. And sometimes, the blessing feels exactly like a loss. Some stories fade, others stay. If this one stayed with you, subscribe for more lessons that stick. Because every story carries a message, and every message leaves a lesson.